Um, oh, God. I just woke up because I was up very early, obviously, because in my country, New Zealand, they're like, depending on the time zone, daylight savings 13 hours ahead. So when I want to have Christmas messages with my family and that, I have to be up quite early. And our Christmas basically starts at lunchtime, Christmas Eve. So, yeah, what's this message? It's just, I hope that everybody has got a full belly. I hope that no one's had to go hungry. I hope for those people like myself who have celebrated Christmas by themselves have done so with pride, because there's no shame in spending Christmas by yourself. All my friends are either off on boats traveling around the waters, or they live in different countries and that. So I feasted. I treated myself this year. I don't usually do it, but I did. I got myself a gammon, and I even treated myself to a little gluten-free chocolate cake. And then I proceeded to basically sleep throughout Christmas dinner, um, because I sleep when I'm in pain. But I'm not in pain like in any unusual kind of way. It's just my scars. I wanted to put this message out because I've spent the last few days looking back over this year and everything that's happened this year. The From 2022 up until now, my life has been quite the journey. It's been quite the tale. I've had a pretty exciting, adventurous life thus far, but none more so than in the last 3.5 years. But this year, 2025, has been quite explosive for me because, with my investigations and everything that I've uncovered in the course of the last year, it's changed my physics, it's changed my connection to God, it's changed my psyche, everything about me has changed in the last 12 months. Now, I was raised in a family. My father was a very empathic, compassionate person. He's an Aries. He was an Aries. And at Christmas time, even though we were poor, my parents always went out of their way to give us 7 kids the best Christmas ever. It was kind of like we went without throughout the whole year, but Christmas time was the one time of the year where, we came together as a family and that. But my father, every Christmas when we used to say our Christmas prayers at Christmas dinner, it was the only time I ever saw my father pray. He was raised Catholic but in a Sunni Muslim household. And Christmas time was the one time a year where he used to, thank God for this and thank God for that. But it was also the one time a year when he would invite a lot of friends of his in the army and that he worked with and that, who were by themselves at Christmas time. He couldn't stand the thought of anyone that he knew being by themselves at Christmas time. So it wasn't unusual for us to just have random men that he worked with or was in the military with turn up and have Christmas dinner with us. And so it's just been something for me every year, and I did do it this morning. You'll see I was talking about it on my post, and then it's all posted there. Um, Me telling everyone to spare a thought for the people who are by themselves, and going without, like the homeless, the lonely, um, the people won't be having Christmas with their friends and family and that sort of thing. there's no, I don't know why people make a big deal out of being by themselves at Christmas time. Obviously, unless you're elderly, but I use it as a time to reflect. You know, this is like my third Christmas by myself now, and I use it as a time to reflect. Um, and I don't even know what to say. It's not about the gifts. It's not even about the food. It's about looking back on the year and what you've survived as a family or what you've survived as an individual. And this year alone, especially if you're in a country like Great Britain or Europe, it's been pretty bad. We've got some of the most dictatorial leaders that our world history has ever going to know. We've got some of the most evil people running countries and corporations and that are so evil that it's affected everyone. And the first Christmas message I put out this morning was from someone who was saying that, you know, um, they haven't been able to afford to give their kids the Christmas that they wanted to give them because of, you know, our government and all that sort of thing. So I was just reminding her about how this is the time when we need to be counting our blessings, not the gifts under the tree. It's not about the gifts. Yes, okay, if you've got children, you want to be able to give them Christmas, but everybody in the world is being forced to deal with bad leadership. Everyone in the world, there isn't a single country that isn't dealing with the aftermath of having to deal with bad leadership, either because their leaders are targeting innocent countries, like how Russia's a target for the coalition of Epsteiners and all that, or you've got people like Donald Trump who, you know, has now fully been thrown under the bus for everything that he's been doing with Epstein. And the interesting thing is that yesterday I uncovered quite an interesting fact. Remember, I had let you all know that Keir Starmer gave $1 billion to a shipping company called DP World that's connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And then I uncovered that just through doing some digging, that DP World also fund Donald Trump's golf tour, and that they're in cahoots with Evergreen Line, which is Hillary Clinton's shipping company, which is fully well known to be shipping children through her shipping line, Evergreen Line. And Keir Starmer gave DP World £1 billion. So now I've found a direct link between the shipping company Keir Starmer gave £1 billion to and human trafficking of children, and that definitively Evergreen Line is also known for shipping the adrenochrome. So now I've been able to prove that Keir Starmer and his government are funding billions of pounds to DP World and Evergreen Line to ship adrenochrome and human trafficking of children and victims for sex trafficking, and connected it to Donald Trump as well. I took it to the king. What happens after that, I don't know. I just know that I'm not going to stop blowing the whistle until people like Keir Starmer are held accountable, because I have now found a direct link between the British government, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, which for me it started all the way back in the days of my blog with uncovering Hillary Clinton's connection to the human trafficking, and you know, the shipping of adrenochrome and children. So Keir Starmer's government are funding directly, like can't be denied, directly funding using British taxpayer money the trafficking of adrenochrome and children and victims of human trafficking. So now he's ramped it up and said, like, because I came out, I exposed it, and then he instantly comes out and says, "Oh yeah, I've given Ukraine permission to strike deep inside Ukraine," which is an admission of guilt, because every single time I come out and expose stuff, he then makes a direct threat towards Russia. But now I've got a message for Keir Starmer, direct from God. I woke up, it's like I got struck by lightning, and I saw the message, and God just said, "Get on it now." It's Christmas. It's Christmas Day. You know, this is the day when we have the most direct connection to Jesus and God. Like, there is no other time of the year other than Easter, when we celebrate the resurrection, more so than we have tonight. And my message to Keir Starmer and his government is this: you're going to get caught out, you're panicking because you've just been exposed. I've given the king the information. People are watching. People now know that you are directly connected to the shipping, through shipping companies, DP World and Evergreen Line, with using billions in taxpayer money to get your hands on children. The connection that I found with you and the human trafficking connected to Jeffrey Epstein and the adrenochrome supply, you have proven me right about everything that I said. I was 100% right about everything I said you were getting up to. And now I'm going to tell you this. Your behaviour is because you know you're about to be exposed, and you are shitting yourself, and so you should. Because I promise you now, mate, you are going to end up in the international courts for what I've been exposing about you. You can come and arrest me, you can kick me out, you can deport me, you can do whatever you want, but it's not going to stop the truth from coming out, because now you have been exposed. If you ignore my warning and you ignore God's warning about touching Russia, truth bombs are going to drop on you so hard your ancestors won't be able to recover from what is coming. Every single country that touches or threatens Russia is now collapsing. Everything that's happening in the EU is because the EU threatened Russia. Everything that is happening in America is because America was threatening Russia. The little games that Donald Trump was playing with the, oh, we're on Russia's side, no, we're against them. Oh, we're on Russia's side, no, we're against them. It's just stupid, because you're messing with the Holy Land. You're messing with the place that God has designated to be the Holy Land, in the birth of the new world, and we are right at its conception point now, today. Celebrating the birth of Jesus, we are now witnessing the birth of the new world. Next year, 2026, is the year of the phoenix rising, and everything that is being torn down now, like your government, Keir Starmer, everything being torn down now won't exist by the end of next year, because God's burning it all to the ground, because nobody listened to the warnings. So if we lose Great Britain, if we lose the Commonwealth, if we lose the monarchy, it's all going to be on Keir Starmer and Labour's head, because they didn't listen. And he will be held directly responsible for the fall of the towers coming down around his fat, slimy ass. Because what he's done is that he has decided that in order to cover up his crimes of doing horrible things to children and blaming Pakistani grooming gangs, because he is trying to cover up his nefarious crimes and the horrible things that he's committing with children, to cover his ass up, he is now threatening to bomb innocent people. Because Vladimir Putin isn't just trying to protect Russia, he's trying to protect Ukraine as well. And the large proportion of people going missing through Europe, they either come from Eastern Europe, they get taken from Eastern Europe or taken through Eastern Europe. And enough is enough. Like, this is it now, Keir Starmer, this is crunch time. You're not going to be able to recover from what I've just exposed. You're not going to be able to recover. And if the king does not wake up, he's going to go down with Keir Starmer. And I'm seeing it now. People are getting angrier and angrier and angrier with the king. I was reading messages on X today about the king and the horrible things that people were saying about him and Prince William and Prince George and all that. And it made me quite upset because it's like, when are people just going to leave this man alone? They have been used as the scapegoat. Everyone look at Andrew. Everyone focus on Andrew, so you don't notice the fact that Keir Starmer's been given billions of pounds to the shipping companies that are sneaking these children out of Europe and through the Americas and all that. Great Britain is the gateway for human trafficking because they, between the Atlantic and Europe. So Great Britain is the gateway. It's documented even with human trafficking rights organisations and that everything coming in and out of America and Europe have to go through Great Britain. And Keir Starmer's funding using taxpayer money the shipping of them. DP World and Evergreen Line. It's all there. I've just been posting it. I posted it all yesterday. The truth can't be denied anymore. And at the second I publish all this stuff, Keir Starmer then says, "Yeah, we're going to go deep inside Russia." Well, Russia is has a protective bubble over it, so anything thrown at Russia is going to bounce back on everyone who targets Russia because God's had enough. He's had enough. He's trying to birth a new world where children are promised a tomorrow, and people like Keir Starmer and von der Leyen and the EU and Zelensky and all of that are determined to get their hands on the children because adrenochrome is worth more than gold. Investing in adrenochrome makes you more money than gold. Seriously, for pound by pound, ounce by ounce, whatever you want to call it. Hang on, I need to have a sip of water. Adrenochrome is worth more than gold. It's like red liquid gold. And now I've been able to directly link Keir Starmer and the British government with funding the shipping of it all. So now it can't be denied. So now it is out there. And now Satan's coming and he's going to land right on Keir Starmer's doorstep. Because that's tipped the balance. Because there's no ambiguity. It is without doubt and with certain fact. I have been able to prove it. And then the second I whistle blow, he then threatens to strike Russia. If he does that, he will lose, and Russia won't have to do a thing, because the more he threatens Russia with, the more he gets exposed with. People are getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and a lynch mob will come for him and tear number 10 down. And I've seen it in dreams. I've seen it in codes, even where Buckingham Palace was collapsing, was crumbling and collapsing. So the king needs to be very, very careful. And I hope and pray that that Christmas message was a pre-recorded one before he knew the truth. Because if anyone touches the Holy Land, they won't survive the end of the month. God has designated Russia to be the New Jerusalem. And he is getting ready to prepare for us the new world, the new messenger, the new Messiah. Jesus is returning. It's getting ready to land. The conception is getting ready. We're nearly there. We're right at the birth canal. And then that little maggot goes along and threatens Russia for trying to stop these countries from shipping children out. which to God is an admission of guilt. The second he threatened Russia was an admission of guilt because he did it right after I exposed him for what he's funding with DP World and Evergreen Line. I'll put links in the description box, but it is all there. I've posted it all. The evidence is undeniable. I've connected Keir Starmer and his government with Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and those two shipping companies. And Canadians have been the ones that have been exposing it all, because they're the ones that have been doing the rescues of the kids and finding the adrenochrome in the shipping containers. And when I saw that, that's when I did some digging and started connecting Keir Starmer with Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. So he's on the side of the Republicans and the Democrats, regardless of whatever JP Vance and that's saying. The other thing is, I also found evidence of Labor admitting in 2006 that their sole purpose is to destabilise England, so that England and Great Britain will be forced to be part of the European Communist One World Order. Someone called Sunderland admitted in a conversation that their whole purpose, their whole plan since 2006 has been to end England, the King's own country. Obviously, I've taken all this information to the King, but it's getting to the point now where it's crunch time. As we're getting ready to birth the new world in the new year, this is crunch time for all the countries, and a warning to all the countries who want to survive the end of next year. A lot of these world leaders that we have now will not be alive or empowered by the end of next year. I promise you that. Macron, Starmer, von der Leyen, the EU is going to get torn to shreds. The world as we know it right now, as it exists right now, will not exist the same way this time next year, because a lot of countries are going to be walking away from the EU. A lot of countries are going to be changing their politics in a way that I don't think America's going to have another president, and the Tories and Labor won't be the majority parties anymore, because people are learning their lessons, and it had to be done. This had to be done so that people would see that what we've been living in for the last 10 years, 20 years, can't exist anymore, because it's fever pitch. It's crunch time. When we've got governments who are openly funding the murder and slaughter of children so that the rich and famous can stay young and feel good and get a high off it, that is the pinnacle of evil, to the point where the only way to deal with it is to destroy the countries involved in it so that they can be built back up again. Hang on, I'm just going to have another sip. And so the time is now. So we've got bigger things to worry about than how many presents we put under our tree and whether we buy ourselves at Christmas time. Because if we don't act now, as nations, as peoples, as individuals, we won't have children to give a world to once we finally wake up and tear this shit down. Now is the time, people. Now is the time. We have to get out with our pitchforks. We have to get out with our lynch mobs. We have to start saying enough is enough. We can't do this anymore. And I just keep hoping and praying that the King wakes up, because he's at the precipice of falling with his government. People are getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out, before people realise what Starmer's been funding. It's only a matter of time. I know that people are watching me from the sidelines, but I'm so heavily shadow banned, they're even starting to roll my viewing numbers back on YouTube. But It's not going to stop me from getting the message out. We have got um, a week to wake up before it all gets torn down. Next year is the year of the phoenix, and if you know what the phoenix, if you know the mythology of phoenix, they rise from the ashes, and they are the totem of regeneration and rebirth. Now, technically, this isn't the birth of Yeshua. He was born in April, but you know, whatever. But the North Star is shining its brightest, and my star is the North Star. The Star of Brehenus is a North Star. The star of the Queen Light of the Sun is a North Star. So tonight is my night for being able to get my message out, because it's my day of days, just like it is Yeshua's with his Star of Bethlehem. We are both shining right now. Right now, as we speak, we are at our highest point to be viewed across the world more than any other time of the year. And this is my Christmas message. Kirstama, you've got to get your act together. Like, make a will, get your affairs in order, uh, start packing your bags, because you're out. We're not playing anymore. This is it, you're done. This is your last year where you'll be a free man. I'm not saying that any harm's going to come to you. That get your will, get your affairs in order. Um, I'm joking, because I know for a fact that it's not your time to go, unlike people like Donald Trump and Zelensky. But you need to get your affairs in order, because you aren't just going to have to resign. You aren't just going to be kicked out of office. You're going to be dragged out in handcuffs with tens of thousands of people baying for your blood. And the safest thing for them to do will be to arrest you. You will be put in isolation. You tried to kill me. You will be put in isolation. You will have to be kept in isolation wherever it is, whatever jail it is that they lock you up in, because when people find out what you've done with that shipping company and Jeffrey Epstein and all of that, take it from me as someone whose husband spent 11 years in prison. They don't take too kindly to pedophiles and people who fund pedophiles and support pedophilia. If you remember what happened to the Lost Prophets dude, and you're starting to get known for that, and I guarantee you by the time I'm done with you, that's the only thing you're going to be known for, as the Prime Minister who funded human trafficking. That's the only thing you're going to be known for, that and possibly bringing about the destruction of the monarchy. But I still keep praying for that. I still keep praying that the king comes to his senses. But after what I discovered yesterday and what you've been funding with DP World and Evergreen Line, you're not going to be able to recover from this. You're not going to be able to explain yourself. You are not going to be able to explain away or hide away in any court of law in any country in the world why you've been giving billions of pounds of taxpayer money to shipping companies that have been getting caught out by the Canadians for shipping containers full of children's blood. You're feeding the vampires. You're supplying the vampires. Judging by how old and hackett you look, you clearly don't take adrenochrome yourself. but you certainly don't have any trouble supplying the children, which is why you're so desperately trying to get your hands on Ukrainians and Russians, why you're so desperately trying to stop Vladimir Putin from protecting these children in Russia and Ukraine. And I can promise you, with Zelensky's threat of, wishing death upon Vladimir Putin, Zelensky will die a lot sooner than Vladimir Putin, because Vladimir Putin is untouchable. Anybody touches him and their whole entire bloodline will get wiped off the face of the earth. Not for war or anything like that, but God will see it so that their children can't have children, so that their children and their grandchildren are removed from the gene pool, so that you no longer have anything left to pass down from generation to generation. The elites will not be the ruling classes once this is over. If you've got people like Klaus Schwab shitting himself because he knows the people are coming for them, if even he's going quiet, if even people like Elon Musk are now being held accountable in courts of law for their heinous actions that's the other thing, DP World. I've connected Elon Musk and his boring company, the tunnels, because as I keep saying, he builds the tunnels. If they can't get them out by ship, by land, air or sea, as Keir Starmer said it, land, air or sea, they take them underground. And that's why Elon Musk is getting so rich, because he's the one that has all the military, satellite, and tunneling, tunneling contracts for human trafficking, and it can't be denied. And they're trying to hide it, but they can't, because I'm in the underworld. I'm the queen of the underworld. It's my job to dig up dirt on people so that it can be held accountable. So they can be held accountable in the court of karmic law, and then I hand the files to God. And if it's bad enough, God calls Satan, and that's exactly what's happening with Starmer. So this is a direct message to Keir Starmer. Satan is landing right on your doorstep, and you're going to feel him before the new year. And I guarantee you, 2026 is going to be the worst year of your life. Not only are all your crimes going to be dug up and put out there for all the world to see, spread across all the newspapers and all social media, from your secret lovers, from the money that you've been laundering off Ukraine, all the money that you've been hiding in your little secret bank accounts under your wife's name and your family members' names and stuff. But everything that you've been doing with those children, it's all going to come out. 2026 is going to be the year where you wished that when you wake up on Christmas, New Year's Day, you didn't. So get ready. Get your affairs in order, because your days are numbered. God has put a direct message out for Satan to come and get you himself. The crimes that you have committed, what I have just exposed with what you've been doing with those shipping companies, is so bad. You're paying to ship the blood of children to the rich and famous, and it can't be denied, and you're getting help from Elon Musk and Donald Trump. So all of this fake bullshit with JD Vance and that England and Keir Starmer hypocrites, because they're doing the exact same thing and worse. It's all a game. It's all an act. It's all to make people think that everyone's got different sides. But the fact that I've been able to link Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, Republican and Democrat, well, he says he's Republican, but he's not really. It was all part of the plan to make people think he'd switch sides and that he'd come good and blah, blah, blah. But they're all on the same side. They all work for the same devil, Molech. Molech is the one who demands the sacrifice of children. In the Bible, you can call him Baal, but it's Molech, and he's the one that demands, in order for you to get your riches and your fame and your power, you have to kill children and offer them as a sacrifice. That news that's come out about the 13-year-old rape victim where they took the baby and threw it in Lake Michigan, that was an offering to Molech. Molech is the one that demands your children and their blood, and specifically blood and organs. Molech needs the blood and organs of children and babies in order for you to get your power. And I've linked it all. I've connected it all. So Keir Starmer is working for the Democrats and the Republicans in order to help them gain access to children, to feed Molech. And now he turns around and threatens God directly by saying, I'm going to bomb the new Holy Land. So if he tries it, if he so much as puts anything or points anything in the direction of Russia, all the weapons are going to be pointed right at his doorstep. And it won't be bombs, it won't be knives or guns or anything like that. It's going to be truth. The kind of truth that I have been digging up about Donald Trump since I started investigating those plane crashes will be 10 times worse. All the stuff that is coming out about Donald Trump right now is going to be 10 times worse the stuff that's coming out, that will come out about Keir Starmer, because he's pushed God to breaking point. God has just pressed the red button on Keir Starmer, which means when God presses the button, that's when Satan comes. He's tipped God over the edge. On Christmas Day, on the day where we celebrate the birth of Yeshua, of Jesus, Keir Starmer has directly threatened where Jesus is going to be born. He has directly threatened the New Jerusalem, the New Bethlehem. And so now he's pissed God off. And when you piss God off, you get Satan. All year, what have I been saying? When you hurt God or piss God off, that's when you meet Satan. Well, now he's pissed God off. So watch what happens to Keir Starmer next, because the stuff that's going to come out about him is going to be horrifying. Those models, those 3 Ukrainian rent boys, that's going to be nothing. Because now what's happening is the British police have had enough of him, and they've said, we're not getting involved in any of your bollocks that isn't a hate crime or anything that is breaking the law. Because the British police have realised that he's been using them as fodder to hide his crimes. And through watching me, through watching everything I've exposed, the police are now realising, if we don't back away from this, we're going to go down with him when the Titanic goes down. Or I should say, when DP World and Evergreen Line go down. When those ships go down, the cops will go right down with them. And the police know the one thing you don't want to be known for in prison is grooming gangs or pedophilia or crimes, sexual crimes against children. And so even the police are starting to back away, because they know that Keir Starmer's leading them into a trap that once they walk into it, the only place for them to go will be down through the bowels of the underworld and into the pits of hell. And that's exactly where Keir Starmer's about to go. This isn't a warning of, oh, he's going to resign and we're going to get a new Prime Minister in a general election anymore. This isn't being nice and friendly anymore, giving him the option to do the right thing. It's not about that anymore after what he's just done on Christmas Day, which is such an antichrist thing to do, right? On the birth of, and when the whole world, well, the whole Christian world is celebrating the birth of Yeshua, to threaten the place where he is going to be born, is a direct threat to God. And it's too late to go back now. Even if they say, even if he says, oh, peace deal with Russia, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. He's done it now. God's pressed the button. How dare you threaten to bomb the new Holy Land? How dare you threaten to bomb the place where God is planning the birth of the second coming of Christ? How dare you think that you have the power to tell God he is wrong and where he chooses the new Holy Land to be? How dare you? How dare you? So now my message to you on Christmas Day, mate, is get ready, because Satan is heading right to your door. You will be able to feel him breathing down your neck. If you don't feel it in your gut as I'm talking right now, I can promise you, you're going to be feeling it when the hair stands up on the back of your neck, because when you're in trouble with God, you feel it on the back of your neck, because that's Satan, mate, breathing down your neck. And he's going to be right on your doorstep. Number 10 is about to burn in hell. Your staff, your friends, your family, your business associates, your government, your MPs, Parliament are all about to feel the wrath of God through the hands of Satan. Because you pushed God over the edge, mate, over the edge. You've pushed him over the edge. I don't even feel like I'm stumbling over my words, because I have got so much coming in so fast. 3 truths, I've just been told, 3 truths are about to come out about Keir Starmer and Labour that will land them all in court, and not just in Great Britain. So get ready. Lovers are about to come out of the woodwork. Your wife is about to be humiliated for the actions that you've been doing behind closed doors. 3 truths are about to come out about Keir Starmer and Labour that are worse than what I have already exposed. They will never recover. Labour will no longer be a majority party. The Tories will no longer be a majority party. Even Reform aren't going to be a majority party. New government parties are going to rise and take over. And then that will be the end of Labour and the Tories. Gone. Because Keir Starmer had to try and be the big man and threaten God directly on Christmas Day, you retard. How dumb do you have to be to threaten God and his son on the day of his son's birth? So watch what happens. And it's going to start happening by tomorrow. By tomorrow, we're going to start seeing things coming out about Keir Starmer and his government and all his friends and that will absolutely solidify everything that I have just said. Within the next 24 hours, you watch. You watch. So take one last look at your family, mate. Take one last look at your house. Take one last look at your job and the place where you work and the people you're around, because in the next coming days and weeks, everything is about to change, and nothing you see right now will exist by the time Satan's done with you. Satan himself, the Prince of Darkness himself, has been called. When God presses that button, the gates of hell open up and he is released, and he's bringing his most vile demons to come and dig dirt on you that will be undeniable. By the time this is over for you, you will wish like hell you never woke up this morning and opened your big, filthy trap. And I'm going to sit back and watch and eat my gluten-free Christmas cake. So, you've done it now. You've pushed God over the edge. How dare you threaten the Holy Land? It just goes to prove how much you hate God. You can call yourself a Jew, but Jewish people would never be so stupid as to threaten God himself. The Jewish people I know, the normal ones, the normal Christians, the normal Muslims, would never, ever, ever, ever. And because the thing is that he's allowing Muslim people to take the blame. He's allowing Jewish people to take the blame. He's allowing Christian people to take the blame for all of his and his government's sins, and he thought he was getting away with it. But that's why God put me here. Queen of the underworld, man. When it comes to digging up dirt on people, that's my forte, because I'm karma. So it's too late to back out now. Even if peace is declared by tomorrow morning, you are still going to be held accountable for what you've just done. Idiot. Because you didn't listen to the warnings. I warned you. Keep your hands off Russia. Keep your mouth shut. But you couldn't do it because you thought that if you threaten Russia, after I exposed what you've just done with those shipping companies, that what, I'd be scared? There will be no World War III. You can threaten whatever you like against Russia, but it's not going to happen. Touch Russia. I dare you. I double dare you. Touch Russia. Touch a single blade of grass on Russian soil, and your whole bloodline will be wiped off the face of the earth for history. You'll get diseases. You'll become infertile. People will, like Hitler, disown you and change their name to avoid contact. Your own children won't want to have anything to do with you. Your children will be victims of bullying. Your children will be targets. Your grandchildren, your friends, your family, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, young and old, will be targets because of you. So take one last look around your domicile, you pathetic little man, little, teeny, tiny little man. Take one last look, because in the next coming hours and days and weeks, your life is about to change in a way where you will wish to God you never woke up this morning and opened your big mouth. So what's going to happen is you're going to notice things like things are going to start going wrong in your house. Ovens will stop working, light bulbs will blow. You'll start smelling strange smells, things like dirt, sulphur and sweat. You'll start smelling them. What's that funny smell? What's that strange smell? You'll hear rappings and knockings. Doors will open, creak open. They won't latch properly. Doors and windows will suddenly stop latching and closing, because that's God opening everything up so that Satan can come crawling through. And you smell Satan before you feel him. So if you suddenly start sweating too much, or you smell sweat on your clothes, that's Satan, because you're getting closer to hell. Hellfire and brimstone. You'll smell it. Your animals, if you have pets, they'll start hissing and not wanting to go near you, not wanting to come in any room that you're in. Your cars will break down. Your ATM machine will break down. Your computers will stop working. Lights will flicker. That's how you'll know Satan's coming. And God is clearing a path, because your doors and windows are the doors and windows to your soul. And when they refuse to shut and they start opening, that's because you know the demons are being allowed to open everything up and get inside your house. And when they get inside your house through the doors and windows, they've gone into your head first. That's you surrendering your soul to Satan. So get ready. Those are the signs. Look for it. Arguments, coming out of nowhere, things breaking, brand new things breaking, disintegrating, because that's the sign that your tower is starting to fall. You will have nothing left but the rubble, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, the rubble of the tower collapsing around you, in your head first. So watch out for it, Kia. And when it happens, tell Satan I said hi. He hates two things he hates the most. Anyone who hurts the pure and innocent, animals, nature, children, the elderly, the disabled, whatever, pure and innocent. He loves going after people who hurt the pure and innocent. Like the kids that you fund to ship around the world for the elites to feast on. The first thing he hates more than anything in the world is anyone who offends his Lord, his God. And you haven't just offended God, you've pissed him off. When God presses that button, whoa, 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 straight for you. So, Merry Christmas. For everybody else, get ready to celebrate, because the way him and his government are going to get taken down is going to be epic. The sort of thing that ends up in movies. Epic. He's going to put on the greatest show. And we get to sit back and watch it. So I'm going to go and have a piece of my gluten-free chocolate cake now, and I'm going to enjoy the show, and I hope you do too. And interestingly, I put up a thing yesterday about a dream I had a few years ago where I was singing "O Holy Night" in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York with the children, the children, the ones that I'm talking about now. And then somebody desecrated baby Jesus at St. Patrick's in Edinburgh. So just, it's all right. Do your offences against God. Do whatever you like, but you're all about to pay for what you've done. And there'll be no going back. There will be no salvation, and that's the thing. Keir Starmer could go to church and pray 1,000,000,000 times in 90 different religions, in a million different ways, and God still isn't going to forgive him. It's still not going to stop what's heading right to his door. You'll be feeling it in your gut. I know that when you're listening to this, Weasel, you're going to be feeling it in your gut. That's how you know Satan's coming. Because he's the God of conscious awareness. Oh my God, what the hell have I done? So brace yourself. Get ready. Here comes Daddy. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Saviour's birth. Not technically, but, April. But anyway, get ready. Bye, Keir Starmer. Bye, bye.